Hey there, Heather Boyd Wire here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful ring using a little glass nugget from the stained glass store. Now it is a specialty project. You'll need a glass grinder to do this project, but I'll link up below all the materials that you're going to need. So what you're going to need for this project is your glass piece. I buy these at stained glass stores. You'll need wire, a round form, your tools, and your glass grinder, with a special bit for grinding grooves. I'll link everything up below. So here's my grinding machine, and this is actually something I used to use when I did stained glass, but you can buy a special bit here. It's a jewelry bit, and I'll link up where you could buy that below. So this is going to grind a groove in the glass. Now it's a little noisy, so bear with me. So we're going to just turn on the machine. We have a little piece here. You have to make sure there's a wet sponge there, otherwise the glass will crack. And you rotate it as you go around. So there you'll see it makes a little groove, and then I'm going to show you how to put the wire around it. And if you want to make if you have a thicker piece of glass, you just take this little Allen's key and just loosen it up, and then you can put this at whatever level that you need so it's centered, and tighten it up, and then you could do a bigger one. So to make a simple ring, the best thing to do would be just to start in the middle, and we're going to make a little bit of almost an oval shape. The only reason being is that you want to be able to fit this wire through twice. So just imagine, how big you have to make this little shape to be able to fit the wire through 2 times. And then we're going to form our circle. So for that you can use the ring cone or a round shape, and it's just to help it around a little bit. You want to just start the shape around the same size as your glass piece. And so then you have your glass piece that has the groove in it. So you'll take your glass piece with the groove, and you're going to just slide it in here. So it just fits right in there, which is really great. And make sure you hold it so the wire's staying in the groove. And then what you want to do is bend this one out at an angle. So around the same position, of course, that you have this piece here, you're going to bend it out. Now if you have trouble making a right angle, you can always remove it and get your pliers. Depends on how well your wire bends, and you can help it out with the flat pliers. So then we're going to put it back in here. Make sure it goes right into the groove, and make sure it's sitting nicely, and then hold it in place, hold it nice and snugly, and then take this wire and wrap it around. So we're going to do that, wrap it right around. Now this design is pretty open-ended. You can definitely use more wire and make it more fancy. I'll just do one that's super simple to start. So if you find that it slips a bit, you can loosen it up and just rotate it around a little bit to get in the right position, and then tighten it up again. So then what you want to do is just take this and push it out at a bit of a straight kind of angle here, so these 2 wires end up being parallel. Okay, if you need to fix it up a bit, you can get your flat pliers and straighten it up a little bit. So here we have the basic shape, and then we're going to get our ring cone and just wind these around here. Now I'm going to leave these a little long because we might end up doing something a little fancy with them. And then we're going to take these wires. If you're just going to make it simple, cut them short and just bend them over. But if you think you want to use the extra to make a little spiral or something, just go ahead and keep them long, put them through there. So, and then put it back on the ring cone to get it to be the right size that you want. So now you're just going to wiggle it around till it's about the right size that you want it. And then at that point, you can just, play around with a little bit, and then take your wires and push them back. So we're just going to put them back like that. So we'll just take those and then clip them. And then what you can do is just push these ends in so they're flush and they're not going to be scratchy. Push them down. And then you can just adjust this a little bit more if how you like it. And there you have like a super, super simple ring, just like that. So for the larger glass piece, we're going to take a longer piece of wire. It's about at least a foot long. And you're going to take your round pliers, and I'm just going to do a small loop, enough to fit one wire through there, just to keep it a little more streamlined. So we start with our little loop that's going to put the wire through to hold it in place, and then we form our circle like we did with the first ring. And I'm just using the ring cone, but you can use a marker if you want. If you have to make it a little bigger, it wants to be more or less the same size as the glass piece. So let's go ahead and put the glass with the groove, the wire right in that groove there. So there we go. And then at about, you know, across from where that loop is, we're going to hold it with our finger and bend it at a right angle here. You can use your pliers if you want. It's not really necessary. And then we're going to just give it a nice strong bend around, like really pull it as you twist so it's nice and strong. If you have to straighten these wires out a bit, you can. This is really going to make sure it's secured in place in that groove, because you don't want it popping out. So it's good to do a deep enough groove that it's going to hold in place, but you know, you don't want it too deep so that the glass is going to chip. So here we have our basic shape to start, and then push these. Make sure it stays in place, push these to the back a bit, and get your ring cone, bring this around here, okay, and then you want to slip one of the wires through that loop. So take your longer wire, whichever one is longer. These ended up being about the same size, and we're going to push it through here. Okay, so we're going to go in there, and then we want to line it up again. So once it's through there, we're going to put it back on the ring cone and just get it to the size that you want. You know, you're going to have to wiggle it around a bit. And then take this wire, and I would bring it back the other way. So this is going to be really solid with like 3 bands on it. So you see the back has 3. We're going to bring this around here. And then what we'll do is make sure these wires are lined up so they're all the same, you know, tension. And then we can remove this from the ring cone. And then what I want to do here is hold these in place, and I'm going to twist this wire around here. So what that will do is just make it a little more solid, and it's going to give it a nice finish on there. So let's just bring this around here. And if you need some help with your pliers, you can always give it a little help and then pull it quite tight. And then the same on this side. Just bring it in a few times just to give it a nice little wrap. Now this part is really totally up to you what you want to do here. It's nice if you wrap it like the same amount of times on both sides. So we're going to bring that around so it looks really nice. And you could actually clip them off now if you wanted to, or if you wanted to do a little bit of a spiral type of thing, you could bring it, like, to straighten it out a little bit, bring it around, and I would clip it a little bit. You don't want it to be too big. It looks like about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, and then take your round pliers and just start here. I have several ways that I make spirals, but if you want, you can start at the outside and then it goes sort of inside. Bring it around a few times. If you need, you can use your flat pliers, but just be careful not to scratch it. If you have some of those nylon coated ones, that could work well. And then once you've got it started, you can even just with your thumb and your finger bring it around. So you could do like a little spiral there, and if you want it to be the same on the other side, you can do one on the other side. If you want another a little bigger, a little smaller, just cut your wire accordingly. And we might want to bend it the opposite way to give it a little bit of interest. It's always nice when things are a little bit asymmetrical. So we're just going to bring this around with the round pliers just to pull it inside. This wire is very soft. It's 20 gauge. It's the artistic copper. If you're selling rings, you can definitely do them in sterling silver. And you're going to just bring this around here. So then we have like a couple of little spirals going there. If you want to do one like kind of higher up, the only thing with this is it's going to be a little more fragile. If your wire is hard, it's going to be good. You could even, to make it more solid, like continue the wire and finish it off on the sides. But this is pretty cool like this. And yeah, if you kind of twist it a bit, you can adjust it to your liking. And there is our glass ring with the groove in it. And I can't wait to see what you guys create if you make one. So thanks so much for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more DIY wire art and jewelry making videos. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I go live and when I post new videos. And if you'd like to share photos of your work, be sure to join the Wire Art and Jewelry Makers Club on Facebook. I'll link it up below. And if you'd like to check out my work on Etsy, my husband and I specialize in custom wire, wedding cake toppers, and funky jewelry. And also, I have a mailing list going, so if you'd like to join my mailing list, I'll mail you my Wire Art Essentials ebook, and that's linked up below too. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.